What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Dudes Who Bet Daily, June 11, 2023. Aaron, Triple Crown season is over. How are you feeling?
Good. I feel very good now that it's over. No, it's been fun, but it's been entertaining, but it's kind of been a little bit of a mess. You know, I was thinking about this this morning as I was kind of watching the replay back. It's like, the horses are pretty equal, and the best trip won all three races in a way. As far as, I guess, maybe not so much Mage, but he beat all the closers to the holes, so it wasn't a great trip, but he was able to get the jump on the horses that were over there with him. But the Preakness and the Belmont, it definitely just felt like, yeah, this horse got the best trip and won the race.
Yeah, watching it back, I mean, I mentioned it during the live stream that Arcangelo made the first move, and you kind of saw him split horses, and then Castellano takes him down to the rail. That spot opens up for him. He's able to pop through. You could tell he was sucking some serious wind that final eighth of a mile. I don't think anyone was really closing. I think he was stopping more than anything else.
Yeah.
But sometimes in horse racing, the first move is the right move, and I felt like that was what happened there with Castellano and Arcangelo in the Belmont. Okay, so I got a little bit of a beef with horse racing Twitter. And I want to air it out real quick.
Okay.
Because a lot of people were really disappointed in yesterday because there was so much chalk. And I get it. It was a very short price card in the middle of it. But don't you want to see those superstars on those big days? Like, to me, part of the fun is, yeah, it's great to be able to hit a monster ticket. It's great to hit, 20 to 1s back-to-back races. But Cody's Wish was phenomenal. Up to the Mark was phenomenal. And I get it. They're short prices. But sometimes it's fun to just watch those horses run. And like Cody's Wish specifically, that race was huge. I like those moments on the big days.
It's so predictable, right? I mean, every time there's a big day, people complain about this. But the thing is, when you have big days like this, the big horses are there, and the big horses are tough to beat. And so this is what you get. I mean, you're right. I think watching Up to the Mark just dominate two Appleby horses. That's something. That's like, wow, we've got an amazing turf horse here in the United States. It's based right here in this country. And then Cody's Wish. I mean, if you're mad about Cody's Wish winning, I don't know what to tell you. It's a great story, and what a great horse. And so, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I've never subscribed to that at all. And in these days, and we've done it over the years, you, me, Jared, you just pound those opinions, right? And if it's chalky, well, you pounded them though. You structured say you play a $20 pick three with all different combinations usually. Well, on these days, you play a $20 pick three straight, one by one, and so you can blow it up that way as well. So I'm sorry, I never subscribed to. Boy, that was disappointing when we see superstars run like they did.
Well, it's funny because the converse of that is when it's horses that are 20 to 1, everyone's like, these are impossible to get to. So you feel like no matter what, someone's going to complain. I got to say, going into the Derby, I was a little underwhelmed by this crop. Wasn't overly excited about the summer races. And Magic even was like, well, I'm not excited about the Belmont. Coming out of this, I'm kind of excited for all of the 3-year-old races we're going to get later, because I think you said it really well there. So really even group. And you're going to be able to consistently find value in these big 3-year-old races. I think eventually Tapit Trice wins one. Angel of Empire probably wins one. I think Arcangelo is legit. So we'll see what Arcangelo is able to do, because maybe 1.5 miles wasn't the best distance for Arcangelo, which is crazy to say since there are now 3 Belmont winners on that damn side. It's going to be fun to see these races. Like the Travers, the Haskell, they could be phenomenal races when we get the 2 Phils of the world's back. This crop is going to be a fun one to bet on.
You didn't even mention the best horse in the crop, Arabian Lion. And he's a fun one too, because it's like, yeah, okay, he's really good. How far does he really want to go? So he's kind of, maybe he's a tweener. Maybe he can't get the Travers, but he can get the Haskell. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could kind of go here. You get a lot of respect for a horse like Forte yesterday too. It's like, I don't think he was quite ready, but man, he just tries, and it'd be nice to see him, in the summer more. And yeah, this is, again, it's not going to be a crop that's ever going to be easy. Like with Epicenter last year, when he kind of matured over the summer, you're like, well, that's the horse. He's the one. You're not going to get that because there's a lot of them, and they're all pretty equal. And it's the summer here where we're going to see, can they really separate? But as we go into this, it's a pretty equal group, and that's going to make for a lot of fun races. Like you mentioned, Haskell, Jim Dandy, Travers, obviously, Pennsylvania Derby, and then the smaller ones as well will be a lot of fun. So it's going to be a really fun summer.
We didn't even mention Go Rocket Ride, who's
Yeah.
now re-emerging.
Yep.
Extra Nejo looked pretty good yesterday. He may
Yep.
matter at some point. I mean, just a lot of horses that I think are very interesting moving forward. So I'm excited to see what happens with this crop and how it goes. And like you look back and it's like, okay, Mage, National Treasure, Arcangelo. That's just a crazy 1, 2, 3. But like I'm excited to see Mage come back in the fall. I'm excited to see Arcangelo keep going. National Treasure, I kind of feel like I know what he is. But this is going to be fun. And Arcangelo, by the way, just a phenomenal story now. Son of Arrogate, out of that damn side I mentioned, now produced 3 Belmont winners. Horse sold for $35,000 at auction.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that horse worth now? I mean, considering we're not going to get any more Arrogates, unfortunately, he passed on. And that damn side is phenomenal. I mean, how their phone probably did not stop ringing all last night for people trying to buy into this horse.
You know, Vinny, actually, you said it on the live show as well. He's like, boy, I hope they keep running this horse because, because of the Arrogate factor, and we lost Arrogate, and then you got a horse by him that looks like this and has the pedigree you just mentioned, they're getting a ton of phone calls. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. But look, I mean, it's a huge Belmont win, but you could increase that value even more with some nice races. And look, these people involved with Arcangelo, what a nice story there too. So they're motivated to keep him on the track for as long as possible before they finally are like, yeah, we've got to do something here because the financial gain is going to be great for this horse. But yeah, I mean, and look, I said, yeah, hey, he got the best trip and he won, and I believe that, but he ran a great race. Let's say he doesn't get that trip. He's still right there with those horses battling out, and he still may or may not win, right? So he showed he is right there with that clump of 4 horses who we kind of knew going in were the 4 that were kind of the leaders in the clubhouse, so to speak. So all the credit in the world to him. That was awesome to see.
Yeah. P.S. That was only his 5th race too.
Yeah.
Like, there's upside there still. We're not done maturing and kind of running into our own. On the positive side of Twitter yesterday, 3 phenomenal videos that came out. First one, I retweeted America's Best Racing, Jenna Antonucci, first female trainer to win any Triple Crown race.
Yeah.
Her excitement was amazing watching that back. She just could not control the feelings that she was going through. Just a wonderful video to watch, especially when we see, look, Todd Pletcher, Chad Brown, Bob Baffert, they win these and you see the video and they don't even react. And then to see her and how much it meant to her, just a really, really cool video.
It's almost like she lost all body function for a second after that horse finally hit that wire. She just crumbled, and that was like, oh man, that was chilling. That was in a good way. That was fantastic. I totally agree. Okay. And look, these big guys get a ton of attention, but there's a ton of people out there that are working their butts off trying to get a moment like that. And she got it. And salute to her, man. Listen, like I said, lightly raced horse. She brought this horse for the Peter Pan. This horse ran his eyeballs out in the Peter Pan to beat Bishop's Bay in a fantastic race. Wheels him right back, gets the 1.5 miles. So she's done a phenomenal job with this horse.
It's always fun when the moment someone realizes they're about to win.
Yeah.
And she's watching it and she just goes, holy bleep. Yep. And that's the exact moment she knows that she's about to win the Belmont. Just a phenomenal video. The second one, Matt Dinnerman interviews the person who did not bid $36,000 for Arcangelo because they're out at the Golden Gate. I thought that was hilarious too. They're like, yeah, we stopped at 34. So that was fun. And then there's also a video of a pitcher who's basically Kenny Powers for Virginia. That is one of the best interviews I've ever seen as well. I retweeted that one out, so you can go check that one out as well. But it is hilarious. They ask him what makes him nervous, and his response was like deadpan, caves, nothing else. It was just a phenomenal interview. So make sure you check that out as well. Just gotta love that good video content every now and then when it does come out on Twitter. We're here to talk about a little betting, little action here. Let's kick it off with the Mets taking on the Pirates. Pirates laying -130. Max Keller Day here, pitcher we've liked to back in the past. Now he's a favorite against the Mets team. Probably didn't see that coming before the season started. Total sitting at 8.5. Aaron, what do you like here?
Yeah, this is gosh, I went back and forth on this one, Somich. It's fun. I didn't know we were going to lead the show with this. I'm gonna take the Mets. Carrasco pitched pretty darn well. It wasn't was it last time or two back? I can't remember. One of those games, he kind of looked like he was returning to form a little bit. I don't love this Pirates team overall. I do realize though the Pirates probably have the pitching matchup on paper today, but I think Carrasco is going to pitch well enough. I think the Mets lineup can score enough. I took them reluctantly here, mostly because of the price.
I took the under 4.5 first 5.
Yeah,
I think Carrasco pitches well again. Keller against this Mets lineup should be pretty good. And I was surprised it wasn't 4. So I took the 4.5 under here, thought that was the way to go. This is a classic toss-up game. So I would not blame anyone who wants to play the Mets here as a dog, because this is one of those that we talked about where it's like, are Pirates really better? I mean, they've been bad since that early run. And the Mets, well, they haven't been able to score. They're the better team here, aren't they?
It feels like it. And I know, there's people saying that they suck. They aren't great, but the Pirates aren't either. They're both about the same. I don't think either team sucks. I don't think either team's great. They're going to be around this 500 mark. It's tough, and they traded games so far in this series 1-1. If Carrasco pitches well, I think the Mets are going to win this game. He's kind of the wild card of this thing. I view them as the exact same teams, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're very similar. I think the Mets have more upside. I think the Pirates could suck a lot faster than the Mets could. I think the Mets right now are playing below their belt, and the Pirates are playing above it. So we'll see what happens there in Pittsburgh today. Let's head over to a really interesting game here. The Rangers, one of the hottest teams in baseball, plus 170 today against the Rays. Well, you ask, why are they plus 170? Oh, guess who's on the mound for the Rays? Your Cy Young favorite, Shane McClanahan, going. He is 9-1 with a 2.02 ERA, total sitting at 8.5. Are you going to buck McClanahan today? You got Perez on the mound. He's 6-1.
I went under on this game. This was another one. All these baseball games today, it's like, oh boy, these are tough. I didn't like the board very well. I did go under on this game. I did not pick the Rangers. Kind of wanted to, but I've watched McClanahan just too much. It's like, listen, we play 162 games. I'll take a day not against Tampa when McClanahan's pitching and just let him do it. So to me, and I agree with Rob. I was getting ready to say this. You either take the Rangers, if you're playing a side, you take the Rangers or you pass it, because look, the Rays are minus 195 now that I'm seeing. Come on. I mean, you can't really do that in baseball. So I'm just going to watch this one. It should be a great game. This has been a really good series so far. I think this will be a good one today.
Yeah, I'm Rangers or pass here too. I haven't bet it. If I do bet it, it will be the Rangers. I guess you could play like Rays in the under and parlay it together to try and get a better price on the Rays, because I don't see the Rays winning a slugfest here. I think if McClanahan's not good, the Rangers win the game. So the Rays and under are probably correlated in a way, but I would rather take the Rangers or pass. I haven't bet it yet. I may bet the first 5 just because then I don't have to deal with the Texas bullpen. And if they get to McClanahan, great. If not, then we'll just move along. But this to me is like Rob said, like you said, a Rangers or pass game. The plus money is just so tempting.
I know they're such a good team. And, the first game of the series, they got waxed, but boy, they responded yesterday with a good game. And whew, it's tough. It's tough.
All right, let's head out to Philadelphia. The Dodgers, minus 130 taking on the Phils. I know Papadou was on the Dodgers yesterday. Total sitting at 10.5, up a run and a half from yesterday where Magic's total pushed. Not marquee names on the mound today, right? We got Ferguson versus Walker, not guys we're going to talk about around the water cooler. But the Dodgers are better, right?
Yes, they are a better team. I think they get it done. Look, they were undecided on a pitcher earlier this morning, and they were a lot better price. And once they put Ferguson up, their price has been hit. So I like the Dodgers this morning. I'm minus 135. I don't know. I have a feeling I know what you're going to do here, and I think it sets up for what you like to do best. But I don't want to spoil it. What are you doing here?
I'm playing the Dodgers minus a half run in the first 5.
Yeah. Once that pitching matchup got solidified, it really makes it like, okay, I think the Dodgers are the play here as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I caught 115, plus 115 on it this morning.
That's good.
I think, it's we talk about laying the 1.5, laying the half run. Mm-hmm. I think this Dodgers offense can hit against the Phillies here. And I think if we get 3-4 runs, that's going to be good enough to win the first 5. So I took Dodgers minus a half run first 5, plus 115. I thought that was the right price and the right play here, because I think you're getting a better team. And at worst, it's a 50-50 pitching matchup.
Yep.
All right, let's head over to the race of the day. Belmont, Race number 10. If you aren't paying attention to the Belmont card today, you really should. It is a fun card. I have a ton of opinions, so it's going to be one of those days where I'm rolling pick threes and firing away here. And it's really centered around the Grade 2 Wander Again Stakes, the 10th race here. We've got a field of 7, and I think it's a really interesting race. I mean, you've got a couple Chad Browns in here, the 2 Revelita, the 3 Venecia, something like that. And then Spansive on the outside, who looks to be the pace in here. But you got the 5 prerequisite, the other Chad Brown. And we've seen it so many times that the other one goes to the front. What happens here in the 10th race here, the Wonder Again?
Well, I use all 3 of the Chad Browns in this. I just have a feeling that he's going to get this victory today. The 3, I think, will improve second start in the United States. That was a little bit disappointing last time out. She was a big favorite and didn't run quite as well as what we thought she would. You talked about a prerequisite. This horse should lope on the lead. I just don't see a whole lot of pressing. But I think the 2 Revelita, I think it's a horse that can sit close enough to not let that speed get too far away. I just think she's got the best turn of foot out of the 3 Browns. So I put number 2 Revelita on top. This is a really good race, though. It could go a lot of different ways. In the end, though, when Brown's got 3 in there, he usually wins it. So I think one of 3 is going to win. I'm going to use all 3 in the multis. Going to go number 2 Revelita on top.
I wasn't a big fan of the 3, which is ironic because it's Irad. So that is the one I did not use, which we'll see if that comes back to bite me. I like the 8 on top here. I like Spansive. I think Spansive actually gets loose. And it's going to be all about whether or not Pratt really pushes the 5 horse, but the 5 horse has never been on the lead. And I don't see this today, the day that the 5 makes the lead. I think the 7 Be Your Best is really interesting here too. This was a horse that we all thought was very good, and that just has not delivered on that promise since those first 2 races here for ratio to pause. At 8-1, I'm willing to give him another chance, because I think if you get the race that you are hoping for from Be Your Best, if you're able to, or give her another chance, if you get the race you're hoping to, and she's able to improve and go back to that 2-year-old season, there's the talent here to beat this field.
Yeah. We talked about this horse a lot. This horse was a big favorite in the Miss Griot after those 2 wins. And like I said, just didn't do much. A second race of the year. I think that's going to help. Ran into some really good horses at Keeneland, right? I mean, that field has been very good, been very productive. So I don't hate it. Spansive, another one. What's interesting to me, Jose Ortiz rode Spansive twice. Jose Ortiz rode Revelita twice. He's on Revelita. I don't know what that means. It could be just an alliance with the owner or something like that. But I thought it was interesting that Jose Ortiz is on Revelita, not Spansive. That's why the only reason I kind of paused for a second.
Yeah, the jump off Spansive there obviously concerned. To me, it was more of the pace side of it. Like if the 5 or 8 gets loose, they're both very dangerous. And so I'm not sure. I would expect the 8 is going to get loose. I think Velasquez is going to dead go, but Pratt's very good at not letting anyone get completely loose too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the front end of that race. This is one of those where I wouldn't recommend hitting the all button because not the favorite, but a horse sub 7-1 will most likely win the race if it's not Be Your Best. So it's hard to say hit the all button and take a loss on the race. But this is one where I can see people trying to spread around because there is a lot of likely winners here.
I'm not happy with Flavian Pratt today, so I'm gonna leave that at there.
I'm not happy with Jose Ortiz today. I still that ride, why couldn't Go get loose? It probably doesn't be cared of, but why couldn't we just get loose so I could find out if I was right or not?
Yeah. Well, why did we push Angel of Empire to the? I'm not getting into it. Let's move on.
All right, let's do some best bets here. We'll start out with Magic's. He's headed over to the CFL. He's going to take Saskatchewan. They're going into Edmonton. His notes basically say Edmonton sucks at home, and they're catching 2.5, but he'd rather play the money line here, plus 110. He's off to a hot start, not going to lie. 3-1 in the CFL here through a couple days. So you can always grab those picks over at Best Bets. Magic's throwing those up every day. There's some CFL, so I'd recommend taking a peek at that. You want to run through Papa Dudes?
Oh, yeah, he likes the Astros today. This is another game I looked at as well. They're in Cleveland. It's a pretty even pitching matchup, so he's going to take the plus money with the Astros, and it makes sense. anytime we talk about this, so it's a coin flip game, take that plus money. Astros and Guardians have played two really good games so far in this series. They've been very entertaining. The Astros lost in 14 innings, something you don't see very often to kick off the series. Came back and won yesterday 6-4. Like I said, competitive games, probably going to be another competitive game. You'll have to sweat this one out. I like the plus money with the Astros as well. I'm with him on this one.
I bet the Astros too. And you don't get this anymore, but one of the best trends in baseball used to be if there's like a 14, 15, 16 inning game, just pound the under the next day.
Yeah.
And we don't see that because of the ghost runner on second. You're getting runs in the 10th. You're getting runs in the 11th. It's very, very hard to go 16 innings anymore. I'm interested to see if this is an under game. I could see it with Bielik and Bieber. I don't really want to back Bieber, so that's why I'm hesitant to pop the under at 8. But I do think playing the Astros here, catching the plus money is a good play.
Agree.
All right, my best bet of the day. Give me the O's. I'm going to lay a half run against the Kansas City Royals, who are atrocious. So I'll lay the half run in the first 5 with them, getting minus 108 here with the Orioles. We got Gibson on the mound. He's 7-3. We're facing Hernandez, who is 0-3. I like those odds. I like the offense. I think the Orioles roll today, and the best way to get them close to even money is laying a half run in the first 5. So give me Orioles minus a half run first 5, minus 108. What do you think about that, Aaron?
I like that one. Yeah, I mean, you got to try to create value when teams are playing the Royals and the A's, even though the A's have been okay here the last 4 or 5 games.
Baseball.
Well, I mean, honestly, they're beating up on the Pirates and the Brewers. These are not good teams. I'm so excited for your Cincinnati bet. I really think they're going to come through. But anyway, I like this one. The Orioles they're solid. I mean, they should get a few runs early on the Royals today. It'll just be if Baltimore can get enough outs, and they probably should. The Royals, even when the pitching matchup is a little shaky, the Royals don't tend to hit.
Well, that's what we're hoping for here. All right, let's go to your best bet of the day. You're going directly against Rob here. He likes the under. You like the over.
Yeah, in full discretion, like I said, I really hated today. I had a lot of back and forth on games where it's like, I don't know what to do on this one. And so this was really the first time since we've gotten into this where I just balked at a lot of games. I did go to this one. I'm going to go over the 8.5. Sorry, Rob. We're going to be against each other tonight here. Been low scoring games the first 2 of the series. I think that will end tonight. You got Bello on the mound for the Red Sox. You kind of know exactly what you're going to get out of him every night. He's not bad. He's not great. They're going to hit him. The defense is going to have to play well behind him. I've watched him. Oddly enough, I've watched this guy pitch like 6 times this year. It seems like I'm always either betting the Red Sox or betting against them when he's pitching. I feel like I've got a pretty good idea of who he is. He's going to go 5-6 innings, give up 3-4 runs. So I think the Yankees will hit him. Clark Schmidt on the mound for the Yankees. Not a huge fan of him. He's probably my least favorite in the rotation for the Yankees. He has pitched decent the last 4 outings. That's a little bit scary, but I think the Red Sox will hit him a little bit here. I think this thing goes over tonight. I think we got a pretty entertaining game. So I'm going to go over that 8.5.
We'll have to watch the weather on this one. It's supposed to be raining in New York toward the end of the day. So hopefully we keep the skies blue and we get this one in. We'll see what happens. I would go Yankees here. You mentioned Bello. I don't think I've ever bet him. I think I've faded him every single time. I'm always on the over. I'm on the Yankees or the under opponent.
I know I had the Reds one night and he lost. And then I had somebody else. I can't remember. But anyway, it just seems like, I hate getting on here and saying, oh, you got to fade Bello because I don't think he's bad, but it's like he is so predictable. You know exactly what he's going to do. So when you have a pitcher like that, you do tend to bet it because you're pretty confident what you're going to get in that game.
He's probably giving up 3 to 4 earned tonight in 6 innings, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's just so if you like the Yankees first 5, I think he probably gives up a couple there. Don't hate that look good. If you like the over and you think that the Yankees pitcher Schmidt's going to give up some, which he has been prone to do, don't hate the look on the over there either. So a couple ways to attack this game. We'll see what happens here. A real quick, how about them Vegas Golden Knights before we wrap this puppy up?
A team I was just dead wrong. They're the better team, period. They look superior. They look superior against when they played Dallas. You know, they dominated Edmonton. great hockey team. They're going to finish this thing out. If it's not game 5, it will be at some point. All the credit in the world. Just a tremendous team. That was a big time performance last night. Until the last, 8-9 minutes of that game, they pretty much dominated it.
So this is when I wish we had a media person, so I could tell them to go back and clip when I said to bet the Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And then did not bet nearly enough on that. Like I had the small futures ticket. I'm like, whatever. It's 12-1 or something. I'm just like, come on.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have backed off that opinion. I backed off of it. That is an unfortunate back off because it could have been profitable if we just stuck to those guns.
Yeah. They just look great.
They look very good. I need Florida to win game 5 because I have series will go 6 or 7. I may hedge and take some Vegas Golden Knights because they just look better. Kind of pissed they didn't win by 2 last night because I got them at plus 121, laying a goal and a half when they were up 1-0. And that looked really good when it was 3-0. And then not so good after Montour played pinball off multiple people to get that to 3-1 going into the third.
I just, and I guess it's give credit to Vegas, but it's like Florida doesn't even look like how they don't even look like themselves out there. Maybe the moment got a little too big for them. Maybe it was a layoff, or maybe Vegas is just much better.
Well, they came back down 3-1 against the number 1 seed in the East, the Boston Bruins. Can they do it against the number 1 seed in the West, the Vegas Golden Knights? We'll find out. All right, let's rip through the best bets here. NBA off today, so no action from there. I'm going to take the O's minus a half run, first 5, minus 108. Magic on the Saskatchewan Roughnecks.
Sure.
Black Goals.
Rough Riders.
Rough Riders, maybe. Plus 110 there in the CFL. Aaron with the Red Sox Yankees over 8.5. Papa Dude on the Astros plus 115. 4-8-1 for the week. Up $472 for the year. Thank you very much for joining us this week on Dude's Bet Daily. We'll be back on Wednesday with more action from the sports and horse racing world. Good luck with all your bets today. Don't forget to play Belmont. Really good card. And there is a mandatory pick 6 payout at Golden Gate as well. So check that one out. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday. Actually, we'll see you tomorrow for Magic Mike Show.